Hello everyone, it is Peculiar People Day, and for this one I would just like to more formally introduce myself to people. I mean, I could be considered peculiar. It's not a stretch of the imagination to say that. You know, I'm a nerd. I like things like D&D, other tabletop games. I used to run tabletop games. And in college, every single Wednesday, and it was pretty much like within the first couple of weeks that I started my freshman year of college, I was in a D&D campaign, also up at Northern, go Huskies. And it was every Wednesday night, and we would play until 2 and 3 in the morning. And without fail, every other semester, I would end up with an 8 a.m. class. And I would still go, and I would still play, stay the whole time. So besides tabletop gaming and things, I also do LARP, which is live action role play. Now I don't do like the Knights in Armor swords thing. I have done that a couple of times. But what I do is, I'm driving, as you can see. But what I do is with the One World by Night. It's the name of the organization. It's global. There's games all over the place. But I do werewolf mostly, and very occasionally I still do vampire. I've tested out mage once at a St. Louis game, and I have yet to play changeling. I kind of want to, but at the same time it's like, oh, I'm gonna add another game, especially when it's in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago. I live 2.5 hours, whatever, south of Chicago. Central Illinois. People will say it's southern. They're lying to you. It is central Illinois. So, yeah, so, you know, nerdy gaming stuff. I also decided to do this YouTube channel, or, you know, video series, whatever. So that's kind of a bit of an odd, peculiar sort of thing. Because I know these videos aren't the greatest. You know, I'm filming them on my phone and using Movie Maker. Yeah, Movie Maker on my phone to edit them together. So I know they're not anything special. But, you know, who knows? Maybe someday they will be. Other peculiar things about me. Let's see, I'm like an Anglophile. And for those of you who don't know, that means I like British things. I like Doctor Who and other British sci-fis and British TV shows. Sherlock. Sherlock is amazing. There needs to be more. Oh, big thing. I do cosplay. I have done Amy Pond from Doctor Who a lot. I try to be like as picky as I can with how close the outfits and things look. Very rarely do I ever get the actual brand and whatever that they use in the show, but I mean, I get pretty damn close. And I was told by Karen Gillan herself at Dragon Con a couple of years ago that I looked fantastic. So I mean, I can die happy. that was pretty cool. Other costumes that I've done, I'm pretty super proud of my Riku costume from Final Fantasy X-2. I did not have a sewing machine at the time, so I hand-stitched everything. I didn't know how to knit at the time, which is a shame because I knit now, like this hat, which you can't see now. But I had my friend knit the scarf for me, and I made everything else. So I'm pretty proud of that. I butchered a fake leather big purse thing that I got on clearance to make like the belt and the belt pouches. So I'm pretty proud of it. Other costumes I've done, which again, I mean, it's kind of like Amy Pond, like when you're doing just like plain clothes things, it's harder to be recognized, sort of, you know, in that weird way, but I've done styles from Teen Wolf. I'm a huge Teen Wolf fan, not afraid to admit that. I also had a character in one of the LARPs that I did, Werewolf LARP, of course, that was based on styles. So I might be obsessed, you know, but whatever. So I've done styles, and I made a Nogitsune. Oh, you can see me. There's my hat and the pins. I painted the pins too to make them look like Jugheads, which I am wanting to do a Jughead costume eventually because I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna do this. I think it'd be pretty cool to make a Jughead costume. I have a jean jacket and I have some fake fur stuff to make like the fur-lined jacket that he has, but without making it too hot. Because a lot of times the conventions that I go to are in warmer places, or well, I go to ASEN and it's in May, so it's pretty warm. So if you're wearing like a winter jacket or something crazy like that, so I try to make them less heavy costumes. And then Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, in September, Labor Day weekend. So it's pretty hot there. And when you're dressing as like British, you know, characters, whatever, and it's like chillier over there, so they wear, you know, sweaters or jumpers, and everything. Any shortcuts you can take to make the costume lighter, is cool. Let's see. One of the first costumes I ever did, which I had one of my aunts help me make, because I was staying up with my cousins, was Tamari from Naruto. I've only ever seen really like the first season of that show. I'm not a big Naruto fan. But Tamari was pretty cool, and my cousin made me the really big fan that she uses. So that was pretty cool. And I got to use a sewing machine like for the first time. I think I was in high school, something. But I'd never tried my hand at it, but my aunt was helping me. So I think that turned out pretty good. And then like a little bit more obscure characters, Vice Kreutz. I did Omi. And then I got to meet the voice actor while dressed as Omi, so that was pretty cool. Let's see, what other peculiar things? Stuff like that. I do random things when I'm thinking. Well, it's not necessarily peculiar, but it adds to my character and my charm. I do have ADHD, and I only was recently diagnosed. Not saying that my parents are terrible parents or anything like that. It's just when I was younger, ADHD and things like that weren't being diagnosed as readily. And so my parents never really thought about it. It wasn't really a thing. But I've noticed as I've gotten older, it's not necessarily gotten worse, but it definitely hasn't gotten better. So I work in a doctor's office. I think I've had videos where I was in my scrubs. So I finally saw a doctor and, you know, told them about it. And they're like, yeah, pretty sure you're ADHD. So here you go. I tend to be quiet in places where I don't know anybody until I get to know somebody, or if they get me on a topic that I either know a lot about or am super like obsessed with, whatever, then I can talk a lot, like nonstop. Let's see. I think that's about it for now. So my future plans for these videos, I'm gonna try to make them a bit longer, but not too terribly long. This one's at least currently running for 11.5 minutes, and I'll, you know, cut it down a little bit, cut out maybe some of the because I know I say a lot. And I know there's sometimes where I can't exactly cut them out either because they're in the middle of a sentence, and again, I'm editing this on my phone, so that's harder to do. See, like that. It's like a nervous thing or something, and I don't know why I'm nervous exactly about doing these. I've thought about making like a YouTube channel and stuff before. You know, I watch like Jacksepticeye play video games and whatnot, but I don't have like, well, any really game systems. My roommate has a PS4. I still have a PS2. But I also don't have a lot of time to play video games. I work 8 to 5, and I also do karate, which, I mean, that could be considered maybe peculiar also for a peculiar day, peculiar people day. I am a 1st degree brown belt, which is the step right below black belt. So don't mess with me. I can fight ya. But not really. So I have all that, and so I don't have a lot of time to just sit and play video games or anything like that. I'm also terrible at them, but, you know, that can be fun too. So, yeah, that's me. So I will, hopefully, I'll get this edited and it'll be up soon, and then I will already start working on the next one. So hopefully that one can come out sooner than, you know, 5:30, whatever time this is now. Yeah, 5:20. Or I'm gonna watch on the inside. Some people find that peculiar. Okay, bye.